Tonight on Marketplace, thousands of dogs are sick or dying across North America.
It was devastating.
It was just the end.
We're in dogged pursuit of answers. Can you be sure you're being told everything about what you feed your dog?
That is immediately a danger, a red flag.
A popular treat that's making millions for the pet food companies.
So they don't care about the dogs or the pet owners?
Of course they don't. If they cared, they would have had it off the shelves already.
Who fights for Fido when things go wrong? We're trying to solve a mystery. It's brought grief to thousands. People call it a silent killer hidden in a seemingly harmless product. Now, we've got our hands on some hard evidence, hoping to crack the case. Our journey begins in Winnipeg, at the home of Heather Kloak and her dogs Tiki and Tia. Last spring, Heather buys a new pet treat. She figures something labeled healthy and natural will be good for her dogs. They love the snacks so much, Heather and her daughter feed them some every day. Hey Heather, Tom Harrington from Marketplace. Nice to meet you. Heather tells us that Tia and Tiki are young, healthy pups.
Yeah, let's go outside.
Are you joining us? Come. So she's confused when out of the blue, both show signs of being seriously ill.
Tia started having accidents in the house, and 2 weeks later, Tiki had accidents in the house, and she stopped eating though.
Heather feels helpless as both dogs become sicker.
Tiki couldn't even jump onto my daughter's bed anymore. Like, she just didn't have that energy. She just laid around and just her face, her eyes, she was very sick.
Meanwhile, an hour and a half down the highway in Gimli, Jerry Bellin is equally worried about one of his dogs, seeing the same symptoms appearing in Dinah.
She became lethargic. She wasn't moving as quickly as before. She was having accidents.
At first, he's not too concerned. But then, Dinah gets worse.
The accidents started to happen more and more. And my wife, because she has a better motherly instinct than myself, said to me, Jerry, I think we should take her in and have her checked.
Just like Heather, Jerry is giving his dogs a treat that caught his eye in the store.
When I walked by, I saw this chicken fillet. It was packaged in such a way that it was healthy looking, and the way it was packaged, it looked like it was made in the USA.
The new treat Jerry and Heather bought? Chicken jerky. Dry all-meat fillets with 3 simple ingredients: chicken, glycerin, and flavoring. Pet treats, including chicken jerky, are the fastest-growing segment in the pet food market. Jerry and Heather never suspect the treats might be making their dogs sick, so keep feeding them. At Heather's house, Tiki, the smaller dog, starts deteriorating quickly, so Heather takes her to the vet. The diagnosis is devastating. Tiki has Fanconi syndrome, a rare form of kidney failure that is often fatal.
She said there was nothing he could do, just take her home and eventually she'll die. I could hardly drive home to begin with, and sorry.
It's okay.
Then to have to tell my daughter, because she has disabilities, so I didn't want her just to see her dog dead. I wanted to help her with that process, and it was devastating.
Luckily for Heather and her family, Tiki pulls through. The same life and death struggle doesn't turn out as well for Jerry's dog, Dinah.
All they knew is that the kidneys were failing. And when you get a diagnosis of that, it's not a matter of can we fix it, it's a matter of how long she can live now.
Just weeks later, she dies. Angry and confused, Jerry goes online, searching for reasons for Dinah's death.
I typed in 9-year-old female schnauzer dies of kidney failure. And then all of a sudden, I saw this site pop up.
He's shocked to find a flood of American reports about sick dogs and chicken jerky.
Owners have reported their dogs have gotten sick or even died after eating certain chicken jerky treats imported from China.
A warning from the American Veterinary Medical Association and from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Its fifth advisory about the jerky treats since 2007. But the FDA hasn't issued a recall because it hasn't been able to prove a link to sick dogs.
When you suddenly realized this had actually been talked about for quite some time, what did you think?
That's when my heart sank and I couldn't believe it.
And hard to believe that in the past 5 years, the FDA has logged more than 2,200 cases of sick dogs and more than 350 deaths across the U.S. and Canada. Many of the complaints tell an eerily similar story. Case 239, kidney failure after eating treats. Case 605, kidneys shutting down. Case 503, 2 police dogs sick, lethargic, excessive thirst. The cases involve a range of chicken jerky treats sold in North America, but made in China. And the one with the most reported complaints by the FDA is Wagon Train, made by pet food giant Nestle Purina.
I couldn't believe it. I grew up with Nestle going back to Nestle Quick when I was 8 years old. I trusted the brand.
It's no wonder Jerry's nervous about pet food from China when you consider what happened just 5 years ago.
A pet food scare has people all over North America scrambling to check what's in their cupboards.
Hundreds of pets get sick, leading to the biggest pet food recall in history. The company pulls 150 brands from the shelves before the cause is known. Later, it's found that melamine contamination in China is to blame. Today, there are sick pets, but companies say no cause, so no recall. And Ottawa is silent on the issue. South of the border, however, the word is out. We find a New York woman who started spreading the news. If there's a pit bull in the fight against the pet food companies, it's Robin Pierre. She believes the treats killed her dog Bella, and she's taking matters into her own hands, putting up posters about what she calls toxic treats from China. Robin's battle plan takes shape in her home outside New York City. She's got all sorts of tactics to get the message out.
When you hand these out to people, what's the reaction?
Some of them are surprised. I have not encountered anyone who knew, and they're grateful. They don't buy it.
And Robin doesn't stop with the posters.
You just walk up in a store and put a sticker on a package?
Yep, package just like that. I'll put a sticker on it.
And what does it say?
It says chicken jerky treats from China have been linked to illness and death in our dogs. And then I have the FDA's website.
Back at the grocery store, we follow along as she boldly goes through the aisles, putting her homemade warning stickers right on the packages. Seeing the stuff for sale months after her dog died makes her angry.
7 months and they're still on the shelf. It's awful. It's awful. It's a disgrace.
Those strong feelings have pushed Robin to reach out to others to join her fight. She's organized a Facebook group, now with thousands of members.
We've reached more people through this group than anybody has done in 5 years.
And the Facebook group isn't friending the companies or regulators. It's gathered more than 80,000 signatures on petitions demanding the jerky treats be recalled.
Why do you think the companies aren't doing that?
Money, profits, and they can get away with it. Why not? The FDA is not making them take them off the shelves. So
they don't care about the dogs or the pet owners?
Of course they don't. If they cared, they would have had it off the shelves already.
But Purina says it does care, even posted this video on their website. The message is, they look after your dog like one of the family.
All of us have done a lot of work and research to ensure that our products are found to be safe.
Even do their own testing.
Each lot of Wagon Train brand dog treats is tested for a variety of things, including salmonella, melamine, and diethylene glycol.
Other companies tell us the same. But is that enough? To find out, We've come to Manhattan and the largest animal hospital in the world. We're getting a second opinion from clinic director, Dr. Richard Goldstein.
Hey, Callie. How you doing? Come here.
He started seeing dogs with unusual kidney failure 5 years ago.
Having that cluster of cases all at once and the obvious association with the treats was the first sign that this was what was going on.
He'd become the first to make the link to chicken jerky from China. Goldstein even starts looking for a cause himself, but doesn't have the support to keep going. He believes researchers will need more cooperation from the companies if they hope to find a cause.
The companies are not saying, yes, we have a problem. They're not initiating studies. They're not funding studies, obviously. And there's not this big drive to figure it out.
More research is needed, he says, because it's hard to explain why some dogs get sick while many others don't. That's why we're putting these treats to the test. Can we figure it out? Something is sickening thousands of dogs across North America, and it's been going on for years. Many dog owners blame a treat made in China. Some are so convinced they've gathered up the leftovers of the very same treats they say made their dog sick. All right. We're packing them up with the ones we buy in stores and sending them for testing. We're focusing on glycerin, the one ingredient in the treats with a troubled past. Made in China products have been recalled for tainted glycerin before. One Canadian company even stopped putting the stuff in its treats altogether, saying it's unnecessary. Now we're shipping our samples to labs in Canada and Germany, looking for a number of toxins to see if these treats from China are tainted. While we wait for our lab results, we head back to Winnipeg to meet Tiki's vet.
Okay, hi Tiki. All right, come on in.
Dr. Lee Stogdale doesn't know exactly what ingredients to blame, but she's convinced the treats damaged Tiki's kidneys.
Let's have her up on the table, Heather.
And now Heather Kloak and partner Dave are bringing her in for blood tests to see how much of the damage is permanent.
What a good girl.
For Heather and Dave, it's been an emotional journey.
What's it like to watch a dog that you think has a terminal condition and it's a mystery? What was it like for you guys?
I know she was in tears for days because she blamed herself.
Did you? Because you gave her the treats?
Yeah.
Seeing dog owners in pain as their pet suffers is prompting Dr. Stogdale to speak out. She's also a specialist in pet nutrition and concerned about what's on the label of chicken and other jerky products. So we're asking her to check out some of the packages of treats we found on shelves across Canada.
Doctor, we brought some treats from the East.
With comforting Canadian claims,
Quality controlled, certified labs,
and promises of health and nutrition,
100% natural chews.
it's no wonder dog owners are sold.
And then the last one we have is Wagon Train, 97% fat-free, wholesome chicken. These are very powerful words, reassuring words, no?
They reassure the owners, but they're marketing. They don't indicate quality.
Then Dr. Stogdale hones in on something that's on all the bags.
What I find interesting on the Wagon Train, maximum daily, and my question is, why is there a maximum daily for what is purported to be dried chicken only? So that is immediately a danger, a red flag.
But remember that video from Purina?
The feeding guidelines for every dog are based on the weight of the dog.
No red flag, it says. The directions are simply guiding owners to feed their dog a balanced diet. Could it be that some are just feeding their dogs too much of a good thing? Stogdale's not convinced.
I think with treats, they should be healthy enough that in fact the dog could eat the whole bag and be fine.
Bottom line, she says, you can't rely on the packaging to list everything you need to know, including where it's from. Some companies bury that in the fine print. Others simply leave it off the bag. We want to see how easily dog owners are influenced by this kind of clever packaging. So we decide to create our own brand to put you to the test.
Hey, sunshine!
Have to have a poster pup. She's the face, but the claims are borrowed from the big brands, such as 100% premium chicken. No chemicals. A healthy, natural treat. And quality tested in Canada. We leave out where it's really from. Now it's off to find some dog lovers shopping for the newest trends. And what better place than Woofstock? This festival in downtown Toronto is Canada's biggest for the canine kind.
He's our baby. He's our spoiled baby.
Where the family dog is now celebrated as a member of the family. Humanization, as the industry calls it, has helped pet food become a $50 billion global business.
Donuts for dogs. Donuts.
Targeting the people who buy them as much as the dogs that eat them.
No corn, no byproducts, no soya.
And as we pitch our product, folks are buying what we're selling too.
Anything about the labeling that gives you a strong impression one way or the other?
It's from Canada. It's natural.
Right.
No chemicals.
Comforting that it's from Canada, and the fact that it doesn't use chemicals is great.
Then we tell them what our label doesn't have to.
Now what if I told you the treats inside the bag are actually from China, but the labeling doesn't require them to say that?
I'd be disturbed.
Yeah,
really? Because it actually says on the other side, it says quality tested.
Quality tested in Canada.
Gotcha. Yeah. Is it actually from China?
Does that matter?
Wow. Yeah, it does. It makes a big difference to me.
If it matters to you, tough luck. In Canada, pet food companies don't have to tell you where their product is made. In fact, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency tells us pet food is not a regulated commodity in Canada. But it is in the States, and that's why the Food and Drug Administration continues its investigation, including lab testing. It even sent inspectors to China to check out factories making treats for a variety of companies. Their reports detail the following: production records that appeared to have been falsified, several large gaps in glycerin receiving records, and, because of conditions set by Chinese officials, samples could not be collected during the inspection. The FDA says it continues to investigate glycerin as a potential source of the illnesses. We're on the same track as the Americans, keeping our eye on glycerin. We get the test results back, and the dog treat mystery deepens. We're closing in on some answers. Answers to whether popular brands of treats are making dogs sick. Some owners across Canada think they are, even giving us their leftover treats to test. And now, the Canadian lab results are back.
Ethylene glycol not detected. Propylene glycol not detected. Glycerin, 9 out of the 10 samples.
The lab finds varying levels of glycerin in samples we provide. But the story takes a twist in Germany. Our second batch of samples goes to Dr. Klaus Becker. We ask him to look for a contaminant called phorbol esters found in some types of glycerin.
Dr. Becker.
Yes, please.
Yes, it's Tom Harrington calling from Marketplace in Toronto.
He's on the line to tell us what he's found.
Doctor, you were looking for phorbol esters. Did you find any?
No, we didn't find any. We did find something that is not phorbol esters, and the concentration of this unknown compound increases from, we had 8 samples.
Turns out the high levels of that unknown compound he finds are not in the treats we bought, but are in the samples from the dogs that got sick.
I can only speculate that in the samples named Oscar, Raleigh, and Tassie, some material has been added to which dogs might be very sensitive.
We found something in the treats. It may or may not be toxic, but it may hold the key to unlocking the mystery. So, we send our results to the FDA, whose investigation continues. As for the pet food companies, they all tell us they do their own testing, and just like the FDA, find nothing wrong. Millions of dogs enjoy chicken jerky treats, they say, so they'll keep selling them. Purina's Wagon Train is the brand used by Heather, Jerry, and Robin. We made repeated requests for an interview, but the company said no. So for now, the treats remain for sale. Not good enough, says Goldstein.
When you still see dogs coming in sick from these treats, apparently, as a veterinarian, a physician, a dog owner, how do you feel?
I feel like we should be able to stop this from happening, and so far we haven't, and that's everybody.
Until a cause is found, he says, there's only one thing left to do.
My advice is don't feed jerky treats.
Advice Heather Kloak wishes she'd gotten. At least, Tiki's blood test results are good news.
Part of the kidney that was damaged has managed to recover enough.
Heather feels fortunate her dog is alive and feels angry the pet food industry still sells what she believes is a dangerous product.
When the companies say they've been all tested, we haven't found anything, there's no cause, no toxins, what do you say to them?
Maybe they should eat them for a while.
Feed them to their own dog?
Yeah, feed them to themselves and see how they do.
As for Jerry Bellin, it's all too late for the dog he loved the most.
This is the place that we buried Dinah. This is where she's resting right now. Yeah.
What's it like to bury your dog? What does that feel like?
This is a heart-wrenching thing to do. It feels completely surreal. It feels like it's not happening. 1 minute ago she was, alive, and then it was just the end.
It's an end sadly shared by so many. Jerry's hope now is their loss is not in vain.